So I thought Milwaukee was creeping up on.
They're 2.5 back, just like in their division.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, like I just said before, in baseball, anything can really happen. Anyone can get on a run. I mean, if anyone gets on a Carlos Beltran type run from like the mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, when he was part of the Killer Bees of the Houston Astros, hit 7 or 8 home runs. I can't see what you're trying to show me.
It's Mark telling he's good to go whenever.
Okay. Your phone was starting to.
We'll have a minute. 8 o'clock. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Right.
I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about Mark Willard. Mark, you're always my thoughts. Chicago Cubs. I just totally lost my train of thought. Maybe now is a good time to take a break.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to take a break. Ben, update really quick.
Oh,
Nothing.
Nothing's changed.
Okay.
Run on first and second now. No outs.
We're going to take a break. When we take a break, we're hopefully going to be able to change the title of this show. If we don't, then it's going to stay test number 2. But we'll be right back. We'll talk some college football when we come back.
Yeah, baby.
All right, let's do it. This is The Clutch. Alex Klepper, Ben Fletcher. All right, welcome back to the Clutch. Alex Klepper, Ben Fletcher. Ben, we have a update.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I don't know about you, but Cleveland's feeling 22.
Oh,
Taylor Swift.
We should have had that queued up. Dang it.
I'm sorry.
We didn't think that far
Jay
ahead.
Bruce, 11th career walk-off hit. Scored the run from second. Game over. 22 wins in a row. Wow. Incredible.
Feeling 22.
And I'm going to cut out the stream.
There we go. Ben, great job with the play-by-play.
Thank you.
We'll send in the audition tape to Cleveland and see if Tom Hamilton is going to get a run for his money. I liked what I heard. And Cleveland Indians, 22 in a row. They play, that was the first game of a 4-game series, I believe, against the Kansas City Royals. So they'll play them throughout the weekend, see if they can get it up and try to get to the unbeaten record of the 1916 New York Giants of 26 non-losses in a row.
We might be the only sports podcast that just spent an entire segment on the MLB. So let's move on.
Okay. All right. You know what? Okay. That sounds good. All right. College football, Ben, starts tonight. There's a game going on, which at first when I looked, I was surprised, but then I wasn't. Nice little segue there, a little teaser. That's called a teaser, folks. The Boise State Broncos are playing. They're playing New Mexico. I think they're currently leading. Sorry.
This is going to have to be kind of a quick segment because we got some news. Mark Willard will be calling in at 8 o'clock, so stay tuned for a pro.
8 o'clock, Mark Willard is going to be coming on here and talking some National Football League. Boise State is beating New Mexico 21-7. I totally forgot that Boise State lost last week to Washington State in a overtime thriller. So yeah, they're 1-1. Both teams are 1-1. Boise, it just seems weird. Even though Chris Peterson has been in Washington now for 3 years, that it seems weird to look at Boise and look at a loss and be like, Boise's usually, they usually start their season like 7-0, and then they have some heartbreaker to Nevada, Colin Kaepernick or something like that. So there's a couple big games this weekend, Ben. One that is actually not going to happen this weekend, that got postponed because of Hurricane Irma, which is number 17 Miami and number 11 Florida State.
Man, that would have been a great game.
It would have been a great game. Florida State, you have to wonder whether they would have liked this or not, because they have that 0-1 in their record because they played Alabama in week 1 and then didn't play last week and not playing this week. It kind of seems like this is allowing them to kind of marinate in that loss to Alabama.
And think about what they're going to do at quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is a positive. They can get more time to test out their quarterbacks and see what they are going to do without DeAndre Francois, who is out for the entire season with a knee injury.
See, that's kind of my biggest issue with what college football is doing this year, having these huge teams play so early, because normally 1 through 25 have some snowball matchups in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
But this year we're seeing number 1, number 2 play right off the bat.
Yeah.
Alabama, Florida State. And it was a fantastic football game, and I loved every minute of it. But you have players who are trying their absolute hardest, playing just ridiculous football, and they're getting hurt. It's preseason football for the NFL, but it's college football, and these guys are getting hurt so early, and we're not getting a chance to see them play the whole season.
Yeah, and you knew there was going to have to be a trade-off with that, because now with the playoff, there's 4 teams going to be allowed in, so they think, well, if we schedule a team that we know is going to do well, even if we get a loss, people are going to commend us for the strength of schedule. We just have to win every single game from there on. But then also, a lot of these big teams, like, Alabama or Florida State or Clemson or whoever else, would usually schedule either an FCS team or someone who would have a score reminiscent of them playing an FCS team in week 1. So now it's almost like those were like training games and preseason games, like you said, and now they have to play against, other guys who have been training all year to be the best and just are physical freaks of nature, just like pretty much everyone on either one of those teams are. And, this is the result. Some guys are getting hurt. Sometimes we get great games like Josh Rosen coming back against Texas A&M, but I mean, even Texas A&M's quarterback got hurt in that game.
Yeah,
so
it's a flawed system that revolves around money, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which these schools are getting these huge TV contracts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and that brings up a whole other question of should players be paid and should they be able to get endorsement contracts and yada yada yada. Which maybe we'll save that for another show because we have enough on our plate tonight without discussing
So,
getting deep into that. But,
Clemson-Louisville.
yeah, Clemson-Louisville.
1 week removed from Lamar Jackson's just insane performance.
Yeah.
And in the first 2 games alone, he's had 2 games in a row where he's had 300 pass yards and 100 rush yards over that. And he's responsible for 8 touchdowns so far.
And that's 2 games.
2 games.
2 games.
Some people don't get that in a whole season. Stars don't get that in a whole season.
Lamar Jackson, so far this season in those 2 games, it's kind of ridiculous. 771 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, a completion percentage of almost 65%, 64.7%. If that's not enough for you, he's rushed the ball 40 times for 239 yards at a 6 yards per carry with 3 more touchdowns.
3 more touchdowns.
And,
that is going to be such a fun game.
Oh, my God. Like last year, I think for me, going into that, I was most hyped about that game before any other game. I mean, I was obviously, hyped up for Clemson, Alabama in the national title game, and it ended up being a fantastic, fantastic game. But it was Lamar Jackson who ended up being the Heisman Trophy winner when he was like at his most hyped because he hadn't lost yet, going up against Clemson, who hadn't lost yet, obviously. And I think they were like 2-4 going to that game. And, this time Louisville is only number 14 and Clemson's number 3. And Clemson, obviously, we're watching Deshaun Jackson. God, why am I saying all these names wrong? Deshaun Watson, my God.
Playing
Deshaun
really well.
Watson is playing right now. He's leading the Houston Texans to a 1-point lead over the Cincinnati Bengals, 10-9. Currently at the start of the fourth quarter.
He's already rushed for a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking great.
Yeah,
Looks like an NFL quarterback.
So he is not playing for Clemson. So they are without their star on offense, but their defense is still wickedly good.
So good.
And Louisville, defending Heisman champion, Heisman man, in Lamar Jackson, who is having the same kind of start to his season. So, I mean, this is the marquee matchup, definitely of the week. Could be one of the marquee matchups of the year if when all is said and done. I mean, there's other games that are going to be big if teams continue down the road we think they are. USC, UCLA could be huge. Could be 2 Heisman front runners there going up against each other, and Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold. Alabama, LSU is always huge. All those games, but right now this is what we have in our minds. And you know what? Last year, Lamar Jackson in that loss, 457 total yards and 4 touchdowns. He's had an extra year to think about it. I'm going to say, and they're in Louisville this time. I'm going to pick Louisville to win this game.
I hate it when we agree, but I do agree with you. I think Lamar Jackson's just going to be unstoppable as he has been all year, and he honestly looks like a running back, tight end, massive build, just awesome, like super athlete.
Yeah,
and I don't know that like Clemson's defense, yes, is incredible, but what do they say all the time? Great offense always beats great defense.
Yeah. So the line in this game in Las Vegas, the Clemson Tigers are currently favored by 3 points. So, it's pretty close. I mean, but for a team that is on the road, that's not a pick 'em. That is,
if you're betting that spread, you got to go Louisville because it's going to be a close game no matter what. You got to go Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the majority of the country are rooting for Louisville because Lamar Jackson is obviously the most exciting player in this game, if not the entire of college football. And Clemson, they were there last year, and defense is great and whatnot. But Clemson at this point is almost like Alabama's ACC clone. I mean, they have a great defense, and then just whatever we got on offense, just get it done.
Yeah,
they're not going to have a guy who's going to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 1,500 yards like Lamar Jackson might do this year. I mean, their quarterback Kelly Bryant so far in 2 games, 417 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. So, I mean, he's not even going to touch Lamar Jackson's 5 touchdowns for another few games. So, I think the majority of the country is with us in rooting for Louisville, and let's go Cardinals. A couple other big games, Texas USC.
First time meeting since the big one.
And USC trying to up that rivalry stake by saying that they have never lost to Texas, which I still don't 100% understand. Then their media guide that said they're 4-0 against the Texas Longhorns.
What about Vince Young's touchdown?
Apparently because Texas had to vacate that officially, which I can't even keep track